So you're thinking about moving to Goodyear, Arizona? Well, in today's video, Autumn and I are going to be taking you around Goodyear and giving you some of the pros and cons of living in the city.
Welcome to our channel. If today's your first time visiting us, please be sure to subscribe below and also hit the bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about the real estate market in Phoenix and surrounding areas like Goodyear. So our first pro today is all the things to do here in Goodyear, Arizona. And our first stop is at the spring training facility at the Goodyear ballpark. And this is where two Ohio teams come here for their spring training. And that's Cincinnati Reds and the Cleveland Guardians. They used to be called the Indians, but they did have a name change.
That's right. And Goodyear, so Goodyear is kind of rural, and we were just talking to a man that pulled up and saw us filming, and he was telling us that this is kind of a remote spring training facility as it goes. And he was saying that there is talk of more teams coming out this way from Florida, even talk of possibly the Yankees coming out. So while this is a rural area and kind of a remote location for spring training, there's a lot of growth happening here. So, there's definitely things to come, but this is a great place to come with your family. You can get tickets as cheap as $8 if you want to sit out in the grass, and as high as $45 if you want to be right behind home plate.
Also, something good about this being not super populated for the games, like that means you're going to have a huge selection of seats. So it's not going to be overcrowded. You will probably find a great seat. And what's not to love about finding, inexpensive Major League Baseball?
That's right. And, so some other things that we want to talk to you about in terms of things to do in Goodyear is the Estrella Mountains are close by.
So a pan over, you can see them.
Yeah, you can see those. It's kind of a hazy day today, but Estrella Mountains are, they run north and south 25 miles, and the elevation of the Estrella Mountains is as high as 4,500 feet above sea level. And so they have such a diverse trail system there, so you can bike, you can hike, and there's lots of animals that you're going to see. So really, really beautiful. It's called the Estrella Mountain Regional Park. Additionally, there's lakes out there near the Estrella Mountain Regional Park in the Estrella Mountain Master Plan community, which we've talked about as being one of the largest master plan communities here in Arizona. And there are two lakes there where you can fish, kayak, sail, boat. It's catch and release on the fishing, but that's a great place to go and see things. There's stargazing. There's like what's that called? A star. They have a star tower in Estrella Mountain Ranch.
That's right. So also, Goodyear, speaking of stars, Goodyear has a dark sky policy.
Yep. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, so things to do: fishing, kayaking, sailboat. There's also, even if it's not in Goodyear, the proximity that Goodyear is to some of the things that are fun to do is there's a NASCAR raceway, there's a BMX bike track here, there's a YMCA, there's a lot of aquatic centers here. So in terms of youth sports, that's super popular here in Goodyear. And a lot of teams, baseball teams from all over the country come to Goodyear, even in the summer months, if you can believe that, to play baseball.
Also, just down the street is the Goodyear Rec Center for, like you said, like the youth sports, the club sports. There's a pool there,
basketball,
all that fun stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are some of the things that you can do here in Goodyear, but that brings us to a con, which is the nightlife here in Goodyear.
Yeah, there's not really much to do here in Goodyear. Should you be looking for, that fun, exciting nightlife.
The bar scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No concerts, none of that stuff. So if you're looking for that, it's not far though.
That's right. That's the great thing about Goodyear, and that brings us to another pro, is the location for Goodyear. The location is about 30 minutes away from downtown Phoenix. You're about 30 minutes from, what is it,
Westgate. Yeah, Westgate, where they have the entire, I think it's called Westgate Entertainment District.
Yep.
And there's all sorts of fun stuff to do there. And they host concerts there and shows. That's where the Cardinal Stadium is, or State Farm Stadium now.
Where the Cardinals play.
And
that's right. And the Coyotes play there.
Yeah. And so there's so much fun stuff to do there. They even like have, at Christmas time, they create an outdoor ice skating rink.
Yes, my daughter just did that. So yeah, so even though it's not right here in Goodyear, the great thing is about Goodyear is the location. You're close to a lot of things. You're close to shopping. You can be close to that nightlife. You're also about 2 hours away from Flagstaff or Sedona and skiing. So the location of Goodyear is amazing. But yet you are removed from a lot of that traffic, and it's still kind of rural out here.
Right.
So our next pro is going to be the affordability of Goodyear, and that's both kind of a pro and a con. The home prices here on average are below $500,000, but on a national average, Goodyear is 14% above the national average. So in terms of affordability around here, I mean, Scottsdale and Paradise Valley are on the east side, and that's really expensive. You're talking about homes in the millions and 2 millions actually. So under 500,000 here is pretty affordable.
Yeah, I would agree, definitely. The median age here is about 38. So those will be your neighbors when you move here. The schools here are really highly rated. So that's also a really great pro.
That's right. And so in terms of affordability, the taxes here are 1.7%. So those are a little higher than the neighboring cities, which are like 0.5, 0.6. And I think the only other city around here that's higher than Goodyear is Paradise Valley, which is it's a very wealthy community, much higher price point in terms of homes. So that is at 1.8, and Goodyear is at 1.7 in terms of property taxes. So that's a little bit higher than our surrounding
local areas. Correct. However, I recently lived in Illinois.
Oh.
And our taxes were astronomical there.
Oh.
So out here, even with your a little bit higher in Goodyear, still good.
Okay. So here we are out in an old alfalfa field, basically.
Actually, current alfalfa field.
Yeah, it looks like it was just plowed. But we wanted to talk to you about the next pro, which is diversity of industry here in Goodyear. We're really lucky to have right behind us the Goodyear Airport, which is kind of an overflow airport for Phoenix, Sky Harbor. So these airplanes sit there until Phoenix Sky Harbor needs to call up an airplane. They are waiting, and they're waiting. It's like the reserves.
Yes. Also, private pilots can rent hangar space here at the Goodyear Airport, and they can use they can use the runway facility there as well. So if you happen to have your own private airplane, this may be the right spot for you.
That's right. And then in terms of manufacturing here in Goodyear, there's a lot of what do you call them, distribution centers, or DCs as they're commonly known as out here. There's Amazon, UPS, Dick's Sporting Goods, REI.
There's the Wolf and Sub-Zero.
Yes.
Boeing's out here. UPS. You probably already said that.
That's right. And we've got also medical out here. We have the cancer research centers is out in this area, and they actually have a huge organic farm right next to them. So they actually grow their own food. So there's lots of different industries, and it's definitely something that is growing out here in Goodyear, which we can also say is a con.
Yes.
All of that growth is causing some traffic, and it's trying to catch up to the residential that's moving in here, and it's not quite there yet. So also some of these farms are being snapped up. So some people could say that that would be a con.
Yeah, so I'm going to flip this around so you can see we are currently in the little farm zone area, but just right next to it, it looks like it has been repurposed or will be repurposed for new homes.
Yep.
And just beyond that, you can see the new homes being built. So this is the perfect place, perfect example for us to show you the growth and how we are snatching up those agriculture locations.
Yeah, and that also is something that we also wanted to chat about in terms of a con that Autumn brought up earlier, which is some of this agriculture out here, and there's also dairies and that sort of thing, tend to have, people will say that there are, like, it smells in the evening times, in the evening hours, probably because the air kind of settles and it's a little more still, but that sometimes in these rural areas, it can be a little smelly at night because Goodyear is still kind of in a rural area.
Yeah, so when they fertilize the crops, of course, you know, that smell kind of
permeates.
Yes.
Permeates your backyard.
But it's only occasionally, and it only occurs, it seems like it's
at night.
At night more, yeah. Like for some reason there's got to be science there. I don't know what it is, but for some reason at night is more exaggerated. Whatever that word is. You can smell it more at night.
Yes. So here we are in Canyon Trails Shopping Center. It's one of our favorite shopping centers for Autumn and I. We both live in Buckeye, which is a neighboring city, but this is where we come for shopping at Target, Ross. There's a PetSmart here. There's a Pottery Barn outlet, so to speak. There's a Planet Fitness here, and it's just very family oriented. We're in a neighborhood that's very residential. And then this is kind of that family shopping center.
Right, right. So as far as like grocery stores go, you're gonna have like your Fry's and your Safeway. Not a lot of grocery stores to choose from. Like you mentioned, no Trader Joe's or Sprouts here in
Trader
Goodyear.
Joe's or Sprouts.
But just right down the street. So
yep, it's close. And Goodyear has been petitioning to try to get a Trader Joe's to come in here. So as soon as these residential homes come up, and we get more residential in this area, which, you know, all around us, if I flip this camera around, you'll see there's a lot of new construction going on. And right in front of us is a medical center going in, Embry Medical Center. So tons of growth still happening. And so we will eventually get our
Trader Joe's
or Sprouts. And then there also is our 255 and older community here, large communities. One is Pebble Creek. That's a 55 and older. It has golf there. That's one thing we didn't talk about in terms of things to do. There's lots of golf courses here. Estrella Golf Course. Pebble Creek has 2 golf courses. There's a Tres Rios golf course. So, of course, golf. If you think about Arizona, golf.
Yes.
So, to recap, all of our pros and cons today, we have the pros being things to do.
Right. Things to do, the housing affordability.
Diversity of industry, so lots of different things, medical, manufacturing, technology, lots of retail, commercial. So diversity of industry, you mentioned affordability.
The location, because it's kind of like where we are in relation to get to your nightlife or to get to the airport, to the Phoenix airport, Sky Harbor.
Right.
And our cons were no nightlife.
Yeah, we were going to drive you by Romans, which is it's called Romans Oasis, I think, and just drive by quickly and be like, there's your nightlife, but we decided not to do that. But that is right behind us. There is one like country bar here that is kind of like the nightlife of Goodyear.
Yeah, so then we talked about another con was just rural. Some people don't like the rural. And there's not a lot of commercial. I mean, it's coming. It's just not quite there yet.
That's right.
As opposed to, you know, the amount of commercial for the amount of residents. And cost of living was a little bit higher here, the surrounding area.
Taxes. But crime is relatively low here. Good schools.
Yes.
So, you know, it is a gorgeous community. It's surrounded by everywhere you look. There's, you know, the White Tank Mountains, and then the Estrella Mountains are behind us. So it's not like you're a lot of places in Arizona where it's just very flat and you don't see a lot of views. Goodyear is nestled in these Estrella Mountains behind us, and then the White Tanks are off in the distance as well. So it's a really pretty family community, and we really love it here.
I do. I
come here to shop, so this is where some shopping is for sure. And lots of new restaurants are coming here, so it's definitely up and coming. And if you're thinking about purchasing a home here, please feel free to reach out to Autumn and myself. Either drop us an email or send us a text or give us a call, and we'd be more than happy to help. And if there's a place that we're not mentioning or that you want us to cover, or if you have questions, please drop us a comment, and we'll definitely try to get that covered for you.